Yo, what is up YouTube? I'm back with another Evomon meta tier list, PvP edition. But before we get into that, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you are enjoying my Evomon content, and let me know down in the comments what I should do next. So, that's alright. Let's get into it. Alright, so first, to get this started, if you guys don't know what the PvP mode is, it's Evomon's latest update where they released the PvP like mode where basically players go against other players, make a certain team and line up, and they just go against each other. So some people don't actually know, even though your Evomons are automatically set to level 180, they do. It's recommended that they are level 150 so that their ultimates are the highest that they can be, like tier 3. Obviously, some people didn't know that, me. But thank goodness, one of my fellow YouTubers, homie Raft, told me about it in the stream. So yeah. But yeah, so let's get straight into it. So starting off the bat with Archapex, I would say he's he's rarely used, but he's used kinda often, if that makes sense. I've seen him more in like the lower tiers, but as you get higher and higher, Archapex isn't really used that crazy. There's definitely people who still use him, but like I said, he's probably in the rarely used ranking. So yeah, this is gonna go meta, used often, rarely used, and never seen. Just just FYI, never seen is just from my personal opinion and my perspective. All right, I am diamond, so I'm not exactly a high tier, but I would say I'm okay enough to like I've seen a good handful. You know what I'm saying? Astronite. So I haven't personally seen him often, but I do know from Homie Raft and from some other fellow viewers who just kind of watch that Astronaut is kind of goated. So what I'm assuming is that he's more used towards like champion rank and up. So I would say he is used often, and that's probably because of his ability to just, having like the move Protect. It's such a good move, overall move, and also the fact that he can just do like crazy fighting damage, and he just has overall good stats to just defend, attack, and just do whatever. You know what I mean? Blazemane, used often. I've seen Blazemane used often simply because of the ability to like put Meltdown, and from what I've heard, he is also one of the best counters for a gem press. If you guys play the PvP, you guys know how annoying gem press is. In like, if you don't have a counter for gem press and the gem press is just really fast, it's super annoying to fight a person who knows how to use their gem press like smartly. So let me see, where is he? So with Pyromane, I think that's his name, he has Meltdown, which basically he's immune to status conditions for 2 turns. It's a very good like counter to confusion, and on top of that, he's just a really decent overall fire type in general. So yeah, and I would recommend you kind of cover a lot of the like typing, because that's just kind of what PvP is. A lot of people are just gonna be like swapping until they can just get a good hit in with like the proper moves. That's why a lot of PvP have like a bunch of different elemental moves on them, so that they're ready for anything and they don't have to waste a turn swapping. Boltonia, in my opinion, is meta. Okay, now Boltonia is able to set a thunderstorm, which I use quite often as it's one of my main strategies. I would say he is also very meta just simply because he is a very fast Evomon. Like, I mean, I think he is second fastest in the game, and that should honestly tell you everything you need to know about him, because in PvP, speed has to do it has to do with a lot, honestly. Like, it's whoever's the fastest and whoever can just like basically do the attack like faster than the other person, essentially. It's let's see, it's action economy basically. So whoever can have the first attack, whoever can like hit the other guy first, set up their stuff first, etc, that's like literally PvP. So having a Evomon who is probably the second fastest in the game is a very positive thing. Bubblade, never seen in a combat. That's just me, never seen him. I don't know if he's good, bad. I just know personally that I don't see him in PvP. For Phantom, same thing, never seen. I know he is a very good bleeder, but Volcrest is just such a better pick. Chitleden, I see kind of rarely used. I've seen him probably like once or twice during my runs. Chitlidin is a very good like overall stall monster. Examples are like he's very similar to Tarragon. I would say probably just like a step lower than Tarragon in my opinion. Like it's just I don't really see him used often. It's not that he's bad. It's just I just don't see him really used often. And I think the reason he isn't used often is because PvP is a more of a fast paced type of thing, whereas Chitlidin needs like a lot of setup to be very, very useful. You know what I mean? So not to say it's bad, just rarely used. Clan XOR. I really thought Clan XOR was going to be like the next big thing, but he isn't really used too often. Now these rarely used are going to be in like no category, like no ranking whatsoever. I would say these like meta and used often are more of the ranking areas. Let's see. So yeah, Clip XOR. I am trying to get a Clip XOR in like the works for my PvP team. From what I've heard, Clip XOR is actually super strong. Just because a lot of PvP focuses a lot of their abilities on their like ultimate. So examples like Frostelli with like their sleep powder, and like Gem Press with the confusion move, like the Swarm Assault. So a lot of monsters depend on their ultimate charge, and if Clip XOR just basically removes their ultimate charge, it kind of removes like a big piece of like their movesets really. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna say Clip XOR is meta above Boltonia because Clip XOR can also be a very fast Evomon as well, and just overall like the moves are just very good. Data Nymph, never seen. I don't really know if she would even do anything in PvP to be honest, so that's why I'm not really like I'm not gonna dog on her, but I just haven't seen her, and I don't personally think she's that crazy, but I just never seen her. Fluffastar meta. The amount of damage that you could output with Fluffastar if you just increase your special defense to like the maximum you can, it's pretty insane. So with that being said, Fluffastar's ability to like his ultimate. But if you guys aren't familiar with Fluffastar, his ultimate makes it so that whatever difference, if your special defense is lower than Fluffastar's, his ultimate is just gonna do infinitely more damage. So that is why it's always good to swap off of like Lava Rock if Fluffastar shows up, because like Lava Rocks are notorious for physical defensors versus like special defensors. So yeah, that's just kind of their whole thing. Okay, let's go ahead and go over here back to Fluffastar. So yeah, in my opinion, Fluffastar is a very good monster, and if you guys haven't already checked out Homie Raph's like YouTube video, he is also running a Fluffastar, just probably for the same reasons, honestly. And honestly, just having one typing is also a very good like thing as well, because they don't have to cover for a lot of negatives. They only have to worry about their specific typing. Frostel, very good in my opinion. I would say Frostel is a like top tier meta, honestly. Might be one of the best monsters for PvP, like just in general. If you just have any Frostel, that's just like, if you're just rocking a Frostelli, like she can honestly carry you to Diamond, if I'm being honest. Now obviously you have to be smart with her, but for the most part she is super good with her. If you get her traits, the open support, so +1 priority, you don't even need to be fast. You're always just gonna have a +1 priority to use your ultimate, and that's just basically all you need. Like Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, and you're just gonna wreck them. Like honestly, it's just as easy as that, like genuinely. So with that being said, yeah, Frostelli is definitely gonna be in meta tier. Frostseer, never seen in PvP. I don't know if he can be good, I don't know if he can be bad, just never seen him in PvP. Gem Press, used often. Whether he is so from what I know, I was on the Gem Press grind as well, where I was just spamming Gem Press and just kind of, doing whatever. But with that being said, a lot of smart, higher ranked people account for that. And so with that being said, they have a lot of counters to that. So that's why Gem Presses aren't really used often. and in like the higher ranks, but they are used very often as like a power move for lower ranks. So that's, yeah, that's just kind of why Gempress is used often. Yeah. Glycididel, rarely used. I've seen him used like maybe like once or twice. I used to use him as well. He's very good at like starting like snow and like just stacking frostbite, but he just, it's kind of the same thing with Chitlidin. He takes too long to stack, basically. So that's why he is probably rarely used, and he has decent stats, but like I said, PvP wise, he's just you know what I'm saying? Goliath, I've seen used pretty often. I'm gonna put him above Blazemane. So I've heard Goliath is actually like a menace. I am a little unsure of that, so I'm just gonna put him in the used often rather than the meta. I know Goliath has a very like decent typing, and on top of that can do insane amounts of damage and just has overall good stats. But I haven't seen him enough to where I can say, oh yeah, he's meta. You know what I mean? But I definitely say he is used pretty often. Leaf Blade, never seen. Mirefish. So I got recently recorrected from my meta tier list. When Mirefish when his ultimate is tier 3, he actually heals for 100% of his HP. So I have seen him used pretty often. Whether he is meta or not, kind of up to you guys. I don't think he's meta, but I think he's a very good like staying alive monster, unless you just go against a grass type, obviously. Mopillow, I've seen like one person use him, but I mean, I don't know if like you could really use Mopillow to be like that crazy good. I know there's one YouTuber who's just using Mopillow to try to see him, to try to get him to work, basically. But yeah, I don't personally use him that often. Pumash, I actually see used fairly often. Like honestly, I see him used fairly often. I'm gonna put Gempress up here because I think he's pretty good. Like to climb ranks, Gempress is pretty good. But yeah, Pumash, I'm going to probably put in terms of usage, probably right here. Probably put Blazemane above Mirefish. Put Astronaut above Mirefish as well. Ooh, actually, no, I'm gonna put him up here. There we go. Yeah, that's a little better ranking. Pumash is used pretty often, like more than you would actually think. I don't really suggest using Pumash because he is a very good damage dealer. He just kind of lacks in everything else, and coverage and everything else. He's not the fastest either, so I think there's just better options than Pumash. But you know, up to you whether you want to use Pumash or not. Spikeumane, I have never seen him be used. He could possibly be good as just a ground type, but then at that point, I think you would just opt in for Goliath, you know? Starmuse, never seen. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Starmuse be used. Sunder Crane, rarely used because of its pretty good like flying damage. And on top of that, Sunder Crane is decently fast, and has a very high attack stat. So that's why it's just rarely used, but I don't really recommend using Sunder Crane as there are better typings. Tarragon is used fairly often. I wouldn't suggest Tarragon as like someone who's like crazy OP. Well, hard to say. I think if you know how to play Tarragon, he could be a menace, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of setup with Tarragon. So, in my opinion, like the regular person, probably like you in the used often, you know what I'm saying? Like probably around here, this level. But if like example, you know, if I was using him, Homie Raph was using him, I could definitely see him like either jump to the top of this list or go up to meta. But I think as far as this goes, I'm going to put him probably below Goliath, in my opinion. Now obviously guys, feel free to like let me know down in the comments below like what I get wrong, or like if you have your own opinions on my takes, like by all means, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Thord Lord is very good and used very often. Honestly, I think Thord Lord is used more often than Gem Press, if I'm being honest. Like majority of my fights, they always start off with Thord Lord or just have a Thord Lord in the back. Honestly, because of its pretty solid defense. And on top of that, having an ultimate move where it just has a +1 priority is always just very good. So on top of that, it has pretty decent typing, I would say. It has okay coverage, you know, can't lie about that one. Tin Core, not used often, but I have heard Tin Core is a menace, okay? Because of his ultimate, he has a 300 damage, like, base set, like cap, or not cap, it's like a set damage, yeah. So with that being said, he is always going to do 300 damage with his ultimate, and that by itself is already like, it should tell you everything you need to know, honestly. Yeah, fixed damage, that's all I'm thinking of. And on top of that, he knows protect, and if you just kind of, if you get the set where like he just heals constantly, the Blossom Sea, Spirit Stag Horn, etc., so you just constantly heal every time you like don't attack. So when you protect, basically you're gonna just constantly heal. So it's a very good move, and I honestly really do recommend him. I would go as far as to say he is meta, personally. That's just, you know, that's just what I think. Twirlby is very good. I'm not in the higher leagues yet, but I know that in like the higher ranks they do use him pretty often. And with that being said, I think from what I saw from Homie Rap's video, Twirlby is used pretty often, just simply because it has like, if it ever goes against an Astronite, like you're not hurting Twirlby because he has a what is it, a -4x multiplier against fighting moves, meaning like fighting moves are like not only double less effective, it's quadruple less effective, you know what I'm saying? So you're just not really hurting Twirlby if you're using a fighting move, basically. Viparch, never seen used, if I'm being honest. Volcrest is a very good monster, in my opinion. I would put him above Tin Core, just because Volcrest is just a very fast Evomon, and just overall good bleed stacking as well. So if example, like if you're going against a person who just is very smart with their Volcrest and just always like stacks the 3 blood wing combo, 3 blood, etc., like it's gonna be a real like big pain in the ass. Now Wispex, I am not a big fan of Wispex. I understand like she covers poison and psychic, but I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of Wispex. But I do see her like constantly being used. Like I see her probably around the same amount as I see Gem Press. So, you know, give or take, whether or not you want to use Wispex is on you. But personally, I don't use Wispex like that. And honestly, if you would like to use Wispex, that, you know, that's completely your decision. Like, that's completely your decision. But yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't really see too crazy of the hype for Wispex, but you know, it is what it is. Wisprain, I'm going to put, I want to say meta, because I haven't personally used her, but when I did go against a Wisprain, they shut me down, like genuinely. Like she was just doing insane amounts of damage, and on top of that, she could just stack that damage too to do basically one shot. So she's kind of like a truck, if you will. So she hits like a truck, which is pretty crazy, and honestly, I think she's meta. Like I just do. Clamspire, I heard is super annoying, from what I heard. Now, to the point of meta, I'm unsure, but I know he's used often in higher leagues, and he's a very annoying guy to go against, because when he like stacks up all his defense and everything, unless you have like a Boltonia or like a Pumash who just punches through defense stats, he's a very annoying guy. And on top of that, he can like heal himself too. So yeah. M-Pixie is also used fairly often, and in my opinion, meta, because it's not only like decently fast, it also has some very good like coverage moves overall, and on top of that, it has an ability known as where is it? It's over here. Purify. Every turn ends removes one status or stat decrease. So example, he is like quite honestly, the biggest counter to a gem press, where he could just remove the confusion, and then he could just, you know, run your pockets basically. Funnily enough, I don't see Lava Rock really used that often. He's rarely used, even though he's a very like good monster in PvE. But yeah, he's kind of rarely used. Pep Golem, same thing. He's very rarely used. I can understand why people would use him, just the fact that he does insane amounts of damage, but he's just kind of rarely used. Now Silver Narch, I have seen used often. Would I go out to say it's meta? I don't know. Hard to say. I haven't used him personally, but I have seen him being used, and he is like, I mean, he's just a fairly good monster. Can't lie. Like he's a pretty like well-rounded monster in general, and I think he covers a lot of bases. But then I don't really quite understand. I can't grasp why he's that crazy, but I seen like some high rankers use him a lot, and I kind of understand like how they're using him, and you know, just this and that. Now to talk about the meta, I will keep Frostelli at the top just because I think overall Frostelli is just a very good Evomon. I will put Fluffastar a little bit, I'll put him under Clipexor just because Clipexor is just able to remove ultimates. It's pretty insane. Pixie is very good, but a little specific, so I'm actually gonna put Whispering above these two, as Tincore is, I think, higher than Pixie, because Pixie is very good, yes, but it's more or less to counter Gem Press. So if they don't have a Gem Press, Pixie is just kind of like being overused, you know what I mean? Still good fire coverage, by the way. Volcrest, Boltonia, I think they go hand in hand, honestly. Personally, I prefer Boltonia over Volcrest just because Boltonia just has, I don't know, maybe I haven't really checked the stats, but Boltonia to me just does way more damage. But Volcrest, you can argue Volcrest is above Boltonia because Volcrest can place the bleed stack, but this is just how I have it set up personally. But yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions about like why I put this guy there, like maybe I'm crazy with my placements, you know what I mean, like let me know down in the comments below. I am working my way to get on the top 500 PvP score. Obviously I haven't played a lot of PvP just yet, but I am working towards it so that eventually I will be able to get on the leaderboard. And if you guys are enjoying, like, please hit that like, please hit that share. Let me know any questions down in the comments below, and if you guys really have questions that you want me to answer like more immediate, feel free to join my Discord down below as well. If you guys, you know, have any suggestions for videos, let me know down in the comments below as well. And if you guys did make it this far into the video, comment your favorite fruit. You know, why not? I just think that's a cool thing, you know. I think my favorite fruit is probably either an orange or a pomelo. Look that up, kids. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see y'all in the next video. Later.